The NHL season is not that far away anymore, and we do have some actual hockey starting up here as the NHL rookie camps have begun. And in today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the New York Rangers rookie camp roster. We'll take a look at all the players that got the invite and are attending, but also we're going to take a look at some updates and news from day one of rookie training camp as well. So let's just get right into things here, and we'll start off with the rookie camp roster and just go position group by position group and see which prospects are attending. So starting off here with the forwards, we have Nathan Aspinall, Raul Boilard, Yaroslav Melash, Rico Gredig, Noah Laba, Sullivan Mack, who was just an invite guy who finished his last year of college last season, and he'll end up turning pro, of course, but will more than likely be an ECHL or AHL guy at best, I would imagine. Then you've got Bryce McConnell-Barker, Brennan Othman, Gabe Perreault, Dylan Rubrek, Adam Sikora, Kerry Terrians, and Kalle Vesinen. And then you have for the defensemen, Jackson Dorrington, Artyom Gonchar, Case McCarthy, who did spend last season with the Wolfpack and the Rangers ECHL team, the Bloomington Bison. So he's been an ECHL guy in AHL last season for the Rangers. Then you got Cooper Moore, another just kind of invite guy who finished his last year of college last season there, just like Sullivan Mack did. And then you also got Scott Morrow, Evan Passmore. And the last defenseman here we have is Corbin Vaughn, just another invite player. He has gone undrafted in the last two drafts. He's a 6'1" left-handed defenseman, spent the last while in the WHL, just another invite guy and still only 19 years old. And then for the goaltenders, you have Hugo Olas and Callum Tung. And honestly, there's nothing too surprising with this list at all. I mean, I guess maybe a guy like Brett Berard could have been invited. Maybe you don't invite often because you feel like he's past that stage. I guess maybe, but really and truly, there is nothing too surprising at all about the invites and kind of the non-invites, I guess. So to me, it makes a lot of sense that you've got your kind of three guys like normal. You normally have a few guys at least that are just going to be, non kind of signed invite guys like, a Sullivan Mack, for example, or a, Cooper Moore or a Corbin Vaughn, right? So it does make sense to have some of those guys there. You've got some of the better prospects in the system right now and some of the lower ones, which you expect, of course, at training camp for the rookies. So nothing really shocking at all here. A lot of these guys are, of course, going to play in the AHL. Some are going to be in the ECHL, but guys that are going to be in the AHL, I think, Jackson Dorrington, of course. You've got, Scott Morrow. He'll likely be in the NHL, I would guess, but if not, he'll be in the AHL. You've got, on the forward side of things there, Yaroslav Melash, can he kind of take that step in the AHL? Noah Laba, it seems like he could have a pretty big role in the AHL this season. Bryce McConnell-Barker, he'll be down there once again. Othman and Perreault, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there with those guys. I think out of those two and Brett Berard there, so Berard, Othman, and Perreault, I've kind of talked about it quite a bit, where I think especially after adding in a guy like a Taylor Radish and having guys like, Brodzinski and Yusuf Parson, we're also going to be fighting for those spots on the third line. I do think it definitely is possible we only see one of those three out of Othman, Perreault, and Berard actually make the open night lineup. So maybe we do see both Othman and Perreault in the AHL. Dylan Rubrek will be down there. Same thing with Kerry Terrians, Sikora. And next up here for the goalies, we've got Hugo Olas and Callum Tung. I think first off with Hugo, he'll be down there in the ECHL for this upcoming season. He had a not great year in the ECHL this past season. They're having below 900 save percentage, so I would guess he'll be down there once again. Then for Callum Tung, though, I think he'll have an opportunity to potentially be the starter possibly in the ECHL, or could be the backup in the AHL for Dylan Garand. I think it's kind of going to come down to Callum Tung and Talon Boyko for that backup spot in the AHL. One of those two there, I'll get it. As of right now, I'd guess it would be Boyko because he does have a lot more experience at the pro level and did put up some really good numbers in the AHL and ECHL last season. And he's also another 6'7", 6'8" goalie, just like Hugo Olas. And for Tung, like I said, he'll have a chance to compete for that backup spot in the AHL as well alongside Boyko, but I would imagine Callum will be the starter in the ECHL. He's still only 21, solid size, they're 6'3", spent 1 year at the University of Connecticut, his only year at the college level, but decided to go pro right after it. Having a .933 save percentage, though, in 15 games played is not bad at all. Got 2 games played with the Hartford Wolfpack, having a .893 save percentage, so got a little bit of a taste of pro hockey, of course, but likely will begin in ECHL. And next up here, we'll take a look at some news and updates here from rookie camp as Vince Mercogliano does post on X saying, looks like the rookie top line of sorts is Othmann, Laba, and Perreault. I mentioned during dev camp that Laba is a riser in the organization right now. My sense is they're getting higher on him each year. He should be the 1C for Hartford this season. And that's exactly kind of what I figured would happen there with Laba being that 1C for the Hartford Wolfpack. He had a really great year once again. Like a third consecutive one pretty much at the college level. He's been a really good two-way guy down there playing for Colorado College. He's got some good size, like 6'2". He's a two-way guy, good defensively, can kill penalties. He can be a power play guy, has some really good skill and, not bad skating as well for a guy of his size there. Has a bit of toughness, physicality as well, it seems like. So for me, I definitely think he is the clear number one center prospect right now in the New York Rangers system. And also, I do think it would be a pretty great idea to have him, start up there in that top line in Hartford, because he would likely get to play alongside one of the other top New York Rangers prospects in a Gabe Perreault or a Brennan Othmann or, of course, a Brett Berard as well, potentially. So, assuming maybe only one of those three out of Othmann, Perreault, and Berard are actually going to make the NHL lineup, maybe you do have two of those three wingers to go alongside Laba in the AHL. Maybe we do see Othmann, Laba, and Perreault as that top line in the AHL to begin things, which, it's definitely not impossible to think that's going to happen, because at the end of the day, right now, like I said, I think one of those three might only end up making it, and with Berard not being invited to this camp, maybe they see him being a little further along than Othmann and Perreault. And Vince Bercagliano also did post on X the rest of the forward lines as well, which they ended up being Othmann, Laba, and Perreault for the top line, of course, but then for line two, it was Adam Sikora, Kerry Terrence, and Kalle Vesinen. Then for line three, it was Yaroslav Melash, Dylan Rubrek, and Nathan Aspinall, which, if you didn't know, is actually a very, very big line. You've got Melash, who is a winger. He's about 6'5". You've got Rubrek, who's a center, but he can play center and wing. He's about 6'7". And then you've got Nathan Aspinall, who is another winger, and he's about 6'7" as well. So very, very big line there. And then for line four, though, you've got Bryce McConnell-Barker, normally kind of center, but he's over the wing here. And then you've got Raoul Boilard, who's a center, of course, and Sullivan Mack as the other winger. And unfortunately, I could not find anywhere posted the actual kind of defense pairs from day one of rookie camp, but for the number one pair, Vince Bercagliano did have posted saying that it was Jackson Dorrington alongside Scott Morrow, which is not surprising in the slightest. Those are the clear two best defensemen at camp, so they were obviously going to be on that top pair alongside each other. And I also saw in an interview there that Gabe Perreault did mention that he's up to about 180 pounds total now. He gained about 10 pounds this summer. So I think that's obviously a really nice thing to see, a pretty big step in the right direction there for a guy who obviously has a lot of offensive talent there. He is a very, very skilled player, but is definitely on the kind of lighter side of things there for the average NHL players. So I think seeing him get up there a bit in weight is definitely going to be a pretty good thing there, and was a necessity for his development. And that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. I think in the coming days, I'll end up having a video posted once again on some more kind of updates and news surrounding rookie camp, as, lots of prospects are giving interviews and kind of talking about, their development over the summer and, what they kind of expect going into this upcoming season, and kind of, reflecting on last season, all that kind of stuff. So I will have another video or two at least, talking about some more kind of updates and news about these prospects at rookie camp. And of course, I'll continue with the daily Rangers content as we do fastly approach the beginning of this 2025-26 regular season, which I definitely hope is a lot better than what it was last season for the New York Rangers. But anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching. As always, definitely don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. And also, definitely don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on today's video and on this training camp for the rookies as a whole. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. And let's go Rangers.